Okay, um, here we are with another audio thing, and this one, I don't know how usable it's going to be, um, because in my quick test recording, um, it sounded like there's a lot of like, weirdly almost like a lot of like electronic hum to it. So we'll see if I use the enhanced audio thing to like cut out that weird background stuff, but it should be my uh, the mic on the SoundPeats Engine 4 um, earbuds. I might be talking slightly louder too, because I don't know. I mean, I guess it's coming in okay right now, I guess, but I don't know where the cutoff for the volume for that is, so it's hard to say. Um, and I mean, what can you can't expect a ton of Bluetooth audio, but anyway. So you may have heard some of me talking about these earbuds in the AirPods Ramble. And I gotta say, this is the first time I've used the microphone on this, even though I've had these for a while. And they're not the most uncomfortable things or anything, but they're not the most comfortable things either. They, I think the only things I didn't quite bring up in that other video, in case anybody wants to have fun with the continuity, I watched this one and then that one and whatever. The only things I think I didn't quite mention about these earbuds yet in there was things like there's no you don't need there is software for it, but you don't need the software. It's just there to like tweak audio settings, but I think the sound is really good out of the box. So it's nice that I don't need that. And you'll notice that I think I mentioned that they do like a lot of times one of these will die before the other. When they're close to dying, the thing periodically will beep and be like low battery or something, and eventually just kind of stops. They also don't always both start up for some reason too, even when they do have battery, which is weird. Like every once in a while, only one will turn on, so I'll have to like hold the touch area on here, and then it'll turn it back on. And also, once the case dies, the only way to like turn them back off, I think. Well, I think you can maybe hold the buttons on them, again, the touch area to shut them back off. But I find it to be easier to just kind of like I just go in and just disconnect them from like, especially if I like don't have them out. I'll just go into the Bluetooth thing and disconnect. So, anyways, also the case smudges a lot and it's starting to chip. Other than that, though, I think we covered most of it in the last one. So what I'm going to talk about today, more so, for this video, is actually microphones. Since we're looking at microphones, that's a lot of what we're doing with these rambles, and I've been trying to kind of, in some way, to keep these ramble videos interesting. I've been trying to use some different microphones or cameras or something to do. Obviously, this is Bluetooth audio that I have to record voice memos to record it with my phone because I guess I maybe could connect this to a computer, but I'm too lazy to do that too. So this is what we're getting. There'll probably be an image on the screen or something for this. And I just kind of want to talk about some microphones that I've used. I guess see that's an interesting topic. I mean, again, I kind of keep bringing this up, but with these rambles, it's not really about how interesting this really is. It's more so about, hearing the voice and the sounds and just kind of drifting away. Because I think even if there is this weird, like, audio stuff I'm hearing, maybe the weird noises that this will be making in the background of it playing will still be good. Or for someone. Uh, anyways, so for microphones. Well, I guess we can quickly start with what we're noticing here. Like I kind of mentioned, Bluetooth audio isn't always the greatest. If you're getting a Bluetooth microphone that is designed for that, and it's a decent, like you can get decent quality ones of those. They will cost you a decent chunk of money to get them, but they do exist. And these can be particularly useful for things like, um, like lapel microphones or something, clip-on mics or whatever, portable microphones, things that don't necessarily have to be like, real far away from their source, where the further away, the more interference and like lag can be introduced. Those things can do pretty well, and I have vague interest in one, but I feel like they'll be too expensive for not as good audio, and my setups usually don't require that. So, um, yeah, all these Bluetooth mics I have, especially on these things are primarily headphones, they're not going to sound great. They're meant to be good enough to answer a call. That's mostly what they're for. Which, in that case, you are going to be limited to how good the quality of the phone is as well. Though having better audio coming in is going to help that as well. I mean, like, because I don't think it's just like whichever one is like, the worst sounding thing that's the limiting factor in that. I think that it probably can compound. Like, if you have bad, phone audio is only going to be so good. So if you have, you know, bad audio going into it, the imperfections of like the audio going in can also be exaggerated or have like an extra layer of different, bad audio sending through, at the other end as well. If that makes any sense. Hopefully, readjusting this back in my ear also could be annoying because it's going to have a lot, I think. And I will say that probably a better microphone option is just to use the built-in mic on like my iPhone, which honestly I don't think sounds too bad. I do think it sounds pretty good, but again, it is like even for a built-in mic standards, I guess it makes sense because it's you're probably going to have the phone pretty close to you anyway, so it's easier to get clear audio out of it. If you're like holding it up to you, that audio is actually pretty decent. And as far as built-in mics go, I've used a lot of those just because my laptops usually have them as well. I think the MacBook's built-in mic was decent. That worked out okay. But like my current laptop, I think the mic is okay, but I don't even think that one, my Windows 1, my HP Spectre H360 laptop mic probably isn't as good. Probably not quite as good. And especially my older laptops, their built-in mics were very muffled. And I think part of the issue with that audio is because I had no idea where those microphones were, and they have to do some like extra work in their like internal because they have to also make sure they're not getting interference and like operation noises from the device themselves, um, which can be tough. I think that probably like there's some of that though. There's like also I guess internal microphones for like for camera sample. So like I'm trying to think how many of those they have. Well, I guess for camcorders, start with those. And you've got stuff like the first Sony Handycam that I had. Actually, probably has had the best mic out of all of them. It did have background sound, noise, whatever, because the camera was like running, and it also had a hard disk drive, so like it was like spinning, whatever, like moving mechanical drive, moving parts that you would be able to hear in like inside of the device anyway. So there's that, which um, you can only do so much to get around that. You can actually hear, like when you're recording stuff too, you can hear the camera in operation anyway. So it's like, well, of course, it would be picked up because the noise is audible outside of it anyway. So I think even if it totally shielded it from the inside, the stuff that was external you hear anyway. But aside from that, though, it had weirdly really good. I think it's probably just stereo. Really good like stereo audio where it was like very clear. If it go around the camera, stuff was pretty clear, like where you were positioned around the camera, where the audio was coming from. And on top of that, it also there's not like it was sensitive enough to pick up like air sound too. But like it also had pretty good like bass on it. Interestingly enough, which is actually also was good that it worked well with music. The only thing it was like good and bad thing about that was that it had essentially this whole camera was like very very automatic. So it was like basically the uh, what would happen is like it had an automatic thing where if stuff was really quiet for a while, it would like automatically like boost the gain so that it would be louder. And if it started to get too loud, it would try to automatically reduce the gain. And so you would end up with this really weird like kind of like if you for like normal stuff, I think it probably works out fine, right? Because you want a consistent volume, you want to keep things pretty consistent and like level throughout. It makes sense for normal shooting purposes, but like if you want to do like music, like softs and louds, it doesn't really work because when things are quiet, it just bumps it up for you. And when things get loud, it like makes it quiet. So like at quiet parts, it makes the things that are supposed to be quiet really loud, or things that are a little bit quieter, it makes them get kind of drowned out. And like definitely have some songs where it's like the singing parts when you're like loud would make the music behind me go way quiet because they had to bring everything down to match just that part. Um, and so then it was not the fastest at it. So when things first got loud or quiet, it stayed until I realized, oh, this is staying this volume, and then it would adjust. So there's a little bit of delay in there. I wasn't the fastest at doing it. And then the second hand cam that I got, like like a, probably a decade later or something like that. Um, that one had surprisingly a worse mic. One of the few things on it that was worse, and like part of it was that it was like a weird rattly sound that was picked up on there, and I don't know why. Because I don't remember hearing that sound when the camera was recording, like on the outside. So it had to do with like how it wasn't protected on the inside. Um, and so you would just hear like this constant rattling in the footage. And also, it wasn't a hard disk drive in there; it was a solid state memory. So it's like I don't know what things in it had to like move to make it do a rattling sound. Really unfortunate. Um, but even beyond that, even if that wasn't there, the audio was just passable. You could hear it. It was clear enough, but it was just it was definitely a little tinny, you know? It was like not any bass in it really. And it was still supposedly stereo, but it just felt very, very flat and tinny and not very good. Even compared to the way older camera. And this is one they still sell. They still sell basically, not the exact model I have, but like basically the cheaper variant of that. They kept that one out there, and they still sell that one, which is it's passable for beginners, but you probably don't want to commit to it. That makes sense. That's fine. And then there's the newest one that I got. Which I guess this other model probably was older than when I got it as well. Now that I think about it, because I don't really look specifically, but because my current model of Handycam is also like from like 2015 or 16 or something, I think, when the actual model was made. So that other one was probably somewhere similar time frame. The nice, fancy 4K one and everything. And the problem with that is, it didn't the line. It sounded good at first. You don't really get much back, like a little bit of like air noise. You don't really get much like operation sound from it. So it probably does the best in that regard, like just giving you the actual audio. It supposedly had the ability on some settings to do like surround sound. I don't know how well that necessarily was gonna work. But the issue was, for whatever reason, regardless of what setting I put it on, or what, audio setting, video setting, whatever, it did this thing where the audio was just constantly phasing between the left and right. I don't know why I was doing that, but just like really quickly, just constantly fading between left and right, bouncing back and forth. And if you're listening through like a speaker or something, it's probably not super noticeable. But if you have like stereo headphones in, or very separate speakers, you're immediately going to notice, and it's going to be very jarring and annoying. So luckily that one also does have the ability to plug in an external microphone, which is where my Rode Go Video 2, what is this called? Actually, I have it in my box over here, and I can turn my phone away from me because the audio is not coming from the phone. This will work out. Maybe if I can grab this. The little booklet should be in here for it. It is the Rode Video Mic Go 2. That's what it is. Video Mic Go 2. And it is like a shotgun mic, and it's it is a mono microphone, meaning it'll go through both headphones, whatever, on playback and whatnot. It'll play back in stereo in that sense, but it's like not picking up different channels of audio. And the thing with that is, it's got like a super cardioid pattern. So the way that works is that it'll pick up stuff mostly in front of it, and it's kind of designed to be set far away from you. So that you can let's plug this in. I'll do this. It's set to be like further away from you, so that you can be away from the camera and still have it like come in clear. You don't have to be right up next to it or have a mic in front of you or anything. And it'll pick up pretty much what's in front of it. It'll try not to pick up anything from the sides, and then it'll also have a little bit behind it. And I've noticed that stuff on the sides does still get picked up, but nowhere near as much. It's way quieter. So unless it's like something loud or someone talking or something where the sound will bleed over into the front. You really won't hear a lot of stuff there, which sometimes can be rough. I'm walking around my camera. It's not as nice as having a nice, stereo thing that's going everywhere or something. What it does work for most of my uses, because a lot of times I'm just either in front of the camera and it's pointing at me, or I'm behind the camera talking, and the part behind is a little more like muffled. It's not like great, but it's good enough. And the audio quality of the mic in general is, I really like it, to the point where I am happy enough to have that plugged into there. My audio is synced up with my video, so I don't have to do anything extra there. And it sounds good enough where I don't have to go back later and like edit it and be like, okay, now I gotta fix the way the audio sounds, right? Um, and that's nice. It's just a lot easier to record that way. So I've mostly been recording my videos that way since, for most of my videos. And I like it. Um, um, I've ended up using that a lot. I've also used it for a mic for other things as well, because you can plug it in like via USB as well if you want to do that way. And do it like on a computer or something as well. So like it's a very good microphone. Um, and probably for some of these other videos, me in front of things, a lot of times I'm probably, unless I otherwise stated, I'm probably just using that microphone to talk usually, right? For this month, I'll probably be seeing that. So another aspect of it is also this thing has like more or less, for the most part, replaced most of my uses for the Blue Yeti, but not all. So the Blue Yeti was one that I originally got a while ago as well for an upgrade. And it's a great microphone. For like for hobbyists and people wanting to like just up their stuff. It's not like a professional microphone by any means, but it is very good audio quality at a decent price and a lot of versatility too. It has multiple settings on it, so I could use the cardioid setting for most of my regular talking, or like some like singing stuff. I use that. There's the there's the um, stereo setting I really like using for ASMR videos. Um, and then there's like uh, an omnidirectional, which I guess like is not going to give you the same as like stereo, but at least if you are just kind of walking around, it'll be picking up audio evenly from like all around the microphone. So it's easier to like just record if you just need to be heard or something everywhere. Um, it doesn't like discriminate for audio stuff, but for volumes or directions or anything, um, there are situations where that's handy. The bidirectional I barely used because it's very rare unless I'm like, again, it's one of those where if I'm behind the camera and something's in front of it, I can place the microphone between them and kind of do that. But there's not a lot of situations where I would use it. It's probably more for podcasting. For like one person on one end of the mic, one person on the other, that kind of thing. But it's been really good. It's just it is big and it's heavy and it's like hard to position where you want it. And there are times where it's going to be in the shot, or where the audio's not going to be as good because it has to be far enough away. It'll still get picked up, but there'll be more room sound and stuff to edit out if you want to. And so at this point, probably still use it for potentially for like singing and stuff, probably, and for some ASMR stuff because I did find an interesting discovery with it, which I won't spoil if that video's not out yet, but there is one coming with that. So look forward to that fun thing. What else? far as other microphones, let's see. I guess I also had like digital cameras that had microphones built into them, but they were cheap digital cameras that were meant to take pictures. Even the pictures sometimes weren't amazing on them, so you can imagine that the audio quality was not going to be up to snuff for a lot of them because they were not really. They were meant to have it as like a bonus, basically. Oh, well, it can do video. And I don't know why you want to. It probably doesn't do it well, but you can do it. And I don't know. Not a whole lot to say about those. I don't think any of them were particularly good. Most of them are just pretty bad. That's my Razer Keo Pro has a mic built into it. All my webcams did, I think, as well. None of them have sounded all that good. I think one of them, I don't know if it was the Logitech C9 whatever, or if it was the Amcrest one. One of them had like a louder microphone at least, so you could hear that. But yeah, the Razer Keo Pro. Remember that not having a great mic in it either, which like it's a webcam, so it's not really like that's the main focus is the camera. But if you're gonna advertise having a mic, you might as well make it good. And a lot of them just kind of don't. And it's also hard because they're going to be further away from you, so it's hard to adjust for that too. But I guess it's better than like nothing. It's just hard to imagine that you have a system that doesn't also already have its own mic in it as well. I don't know how useful that is. What else? I think there's other mics I'm missing. Oh, of course. I also had monthly microphone Monday I did for a little while, where I was looking at a different microphone, cheap microphone every Monday, or one Monday out of every month. I did that for a few months, anyways, and so like $20 or less was the thing. And what really surprised me is how far the audio has come for that. Where now even the cheap ones can actually sound pretty good. And they weren't all great. One of them I got just didn't like. It looked really cool, but it like the audio was weird. It would like come in like almost like it had its own noise canceling built into itself or something. It was really strange. Not terrible, but not quite there. A lot of the other ones were kind of boringly just like it's a microphone. You can hear it and it sounds good. I had the one that actually clips on a microphone. It's wired. And unfortunately, I believe I tried it in my camcorder. It did not work there. So it doesn't like that. It's probably more for a phone or a computer. Those it'll work with, but it must need the complete combo jack. It must not work on just a microphone input. That's the only thing I could figure, anyways. Otherwise, it sounded decent as well. That was a fun. That playlist should still be up. I guess if you guys want to check those out, I think I did like 5 of those or something. As like a test run, and like see if people liked it, and like nobody seemed to really care. So okay, well, I'm gonna stop buying microphones then that I'm not going to use. I guess the earpods had microphones built onto them, and a little like cord thing. Also, that sounds surprisingly good. I mean, I guess it's a wired microphone, but still like as tiny as it is, and just kind of like dangling around. It does sound pretty good. I also know some people just really like the sound of it just for like nostalgia or like it's a little more like lo-fi or something. People like it. I've heard from like not from my videos, but seeing other people do it since they had them. A lot of people that's all they had. Some people they did it just on purpose to get that particular sound, but I've seen it a decent amount. So that's interesting to know. There's a built-in, I guess like there's built-in like like a 3DS. I'm gonna be doing a little video on there. If I remember how to get videos off there, maybe I'll try. Maybe I'll try recording a 3DS video for this as well. I'd say let me know in the comments, but I don't know when this is going up and if I'll have time to do it before the month is over. It depends on when this goes up, but we'll see. It is another idea. Let's see. What else? I guess I never really used them. I think there aren't built-in mics in the Steam Deck. That's what it's called, in the Steam Deck, which I also I don't think I've used. I don't know how I would really use that without getting out of the Steam thing to do it. So I don't want to get out of Steam, so you probably won't hear that. Unfortunately, sorry. I guess other phones have had built-in mics and stuff too, but there's not a lot to say there. And although I think my old slider phones, I think they didn't I don't think the video. I don't know if the videos work. I'm mean, they work with audio, but I couldn't get the format to do anything on modern computers. Maybe that was what it was. I also have a couple of like regular headsets. I've had a few headsets, I guess, over the years. Two older ones I had were both like Logitech ones, and like they were kind of they're not like I don't want to say the cheap ones, but like let's call them budget. Let's be nice and pretend. Um, that's all they were. It was budget. Because it wasn't like they were the kind of going break right away, no name, nothing. So they're still like Logitech, could get it at the store, um, kind of things. But yeah, one of them was back when you still had separate plugs for like the microphone and the headphones. We don't really see that anymore. But that was like a period of time where they had that, and it's funny because like I never thought about it. Like the first laptop had both spots, so when I got that, it just happened to be the right kind of headphones. And it was not a great mic. It was very, very quiet, and I used it when I was streaming. So basically, at that point, it was like my choices were in those early days of streaming. It was like, do I use my really, do I use my internal microphone, which is loud enough but very muffled and inconsistent, or do I use my headset mic, which does have definitely an air sound to it, and a bit of a electronic hum when my computer is plugged in and charging, but is much clearer. It's way quieter, but it's much clearer. And I usually opted for the built-in mics because it was easy enough to get the audio to actually work on the thing, to be audible and not annoying electrical sound. Electric buzz in the background. So I think it happened with also the other Logitech headset I had that was a USB one. It had the same issue. That one had like a little invoice, like inline remote control thingy. That was also a clip. So I had to like clip that onto like my shirt or something. I think those headphones were definitely more comfortable because like the padding fell off of the other ones. But I guess this isn't really about headphones. We'll talk about that in the next video, perhaps, more specifically. But yeah, microphone was probably more or less the same microphone. It wasn't not really much better. Fold down thing. Then I got the V10 headset. I don't remember specifically which one. I have to go look at the thing, I guess, to see which kind it is. But it was one I got with, it had like, I don't remember how I got like credit on there. I think it was like, there's some special promotion thing they had going on, or it was a limited deal or something like that, where I saved money on it. And I got that, and I like it because it's a versatile headset. Because it can plug in, it has like a sound chip in like the inline controls thingy. It has its own like little sound card. Um, and that plugs in via USB. But you can also disconnect it from that. If you disconnect it from that, there's a standard 3.5mm plug that hooked into there, and you can use that instead. So you wouldn't get the benefit of the sound card, but it's for you know for most other devices that will have the standard audio jack, and you would just let the device deal with the audio. And the microphone on it in particular, I feel like either way, I didn't notice the difference, but maybe there was. The audio on it is alright. It's okay. It was very good for voice, anyways, which is mostly what I used it for. Just regular speaking. The actual like, it didn't fold up, which I actually didn't like. It was one that was like it's a bendy mic, so you have to bend it out of the way and then bend it back. Good for fine tuning it to the exact spot you want, especially if you don't want to move it away to like, take a drink or eat or something. But annoying when you want to just use the headphone parts and you can't really get it out of your peripheral vision. And like my peripheral vision is terrible, and even I can't get it out of my peripheral vision, so it's pretty bad. But the audio quality is kind of nice. Hopefully, I'll have something recorded with it. I feel like I do, but what I know right now, I think the one thing I recorded with it was probably hampered by the thing I recorded it on. So I may do another. We'll see how much time I have, how many videos video count is. I need to pad that much. And then of course there is the Sennheiser Drop Plus EPOS PCX38. I think that's what it is. I think it's PCX38 is what the headset's called. Um, Fairly spendy, but I had a gift card that I used on it. So, and those were um, very, really good. Actually, they're actually really nice. They just they're good. Well, that's really explanatory, isn't it? So those are really good because it's like it's the microphone again. It's kind of a fold down one. You can move it a little bit, but it doesn't really stay. So I don't know why it has slight bendiness to it. But like the audio is very good. It's a very good microphone. And I mean, there's not a whole lot else to say about it. I guess it's very clear. It's very nice to have for a headset because that was the main goal. It's like I wanted it to be a really good microphone on a headset, so I could be getting really good audio if I'm going to be using that instead of Blue Yeti or something else. Because the main thing was to use it on my MacBook, which only has two ports on it to deal with. One of which will get eaten up by a charger, if the battery gets low. So I can't really plug in, a charger, a microphone, and a webcam if they're all USB, unless I get a hub or something for it. So I wanted this to be a combo thing, to be basically between the charger, the headphones, and the microphone. I guess it's more so what it was. And then also, I have webcam now too, so it's like, well, something's got to go. So having this combo thing go into there, so the headphones and the microphone are all in one. Camera and one USB port, charger the other. Works out really well. And I think that might be all the microphones I can I can think of here, which is still plenty to be used over the years, more than I have needed to. But they want to put it in everything. Oh, I also have a little MP3. I think I was probably recording out here that was done on that little. I think I actually just recently uploaded that finally too. I recorded like a pencil MP3 player thing that I got that was pretty cheap. And I didn't end up really using it, probably because it was cheap. Um, I just don't think I'm cut out for MP3 players. I think the time for those is past. I had a Zoom, and it was really nice, but I think it was like the second generation of those or whatever, like the redesign. Really nice. But I think it just quit working at one point, so I hadn't used it in so long. So yeah, I don't know if I want to go back. There's a lot of work to take all the music off of stuff and put it on there. A lot of time. Um, but that little like MP3 player thing I got had a little microphone in it for voice recording, so I did that. It sounded interesting at least, but I consider the idea of getting a little just dedicated voice recorder and using that for random rambles. But I think it's better to have more videos with it because again, even this probably is not going to have a video portion of it. But I think it's just going to be a picture of the earbuds in question that are being used to record this whole thing. And I think that is probably a good enough place to end. This was longer than I guess it's good. It's longer than I thought it was going to be, which I guess is good. I think unless I have time to look at the clock and actually register the time it was like 20 minutes ago. So it's a good thing I'm so good at rambling. Hopefully the audio is usable. Let me know how you feel about that in the comments and stuff, because I think I might be sunsetting these earbuds in favor of the AirPods. Unless you guys really like the audio here, maybe I'll do more. Oh, sorry if you could hear me adjusting the volumes every single time. Alright, I think that'll do it for me. Have a great